So I was just talking to someone who wants to get into land flipping, and he was like, what do I want to do? What do I need to do first? And I said, well, gosh, the first thing you want to do is start mailing offers to property owners. And okay, he's like, okay, well, how do I do that? And I said, okay, well, get my letter, right? Get my letter, make your company name, just make something up, don't overthink it, but make sure that your company name is speaking to the end result you're going to get your customer. So when you're sending out these letters, you are an investor, you are a land buyer, right? So you want to be naming your company in a way that is saying, I buy land, okay? I buy rural land, I buy vacant land, I buy land. You may not want to limit yourself to just the big parcels. Maybe someday you're going to do something else. But this is how I'm coaching him to do it the way that I do it, right? And there are 100 ways you can do it. So you're getting the person and you're letting them know exactly what it is you do in the company. So you don't have to overthink it. So who's mailing him the letter? And I'm like, well, it's your name and it's your company. You don't have to put your logo on there, but just put your name and your company name, and you need an address and you need a website. So you need the domain name to match the company name, and then you need to make sure that people can respond to you through the mail or through the phone or online. They're going to look you up when they see you have a website. Like, who is this guy? Who is this Chris Thomas land buyer, or I should say earth buyer? And they're going to look you up online. Now, some people are going to be older and they're not going to really do the whole online thing. So they might just call and want to hear your voice, maybe want to talk to somebody. So anyway, just make sure you have a way for them to reach you in all the different ways, because people are going to look you up. And if they don't, their kids, their grandkids, somebody else will be able to, their neighbor, somebody will be able to look you up. So you want to be ready. I was like, make sure you know where you're going to be able to receive mail, where you're going to be able to do it every week, and check it every week. And then also, for this particular person, he's on the move. Like, he doesn't just live in one place. He moves around at different times of the year. So in that case, you kind of need an address that's permanent, right? You need a place where people can reach you even 6 months after they get your letter, because they're going to file it away in their file cabinet. And they're going to be like, someday I might need to sell my land, and then one day is going to come and they're going to pull that letter out and they're like, today's the day, and they're going to call you. And if you've moved, you don't want them to call the old number. You want to call a number or send an email somewhere that's going to reach me no matter where I am. They're going to move your business forward. Getting the mail out. If you can outsource work, great, but you need some kind of a process for how you're going to manage a piece of property once you get the contract and through all the steps, getting it listed for sale. But sending mail is a big lever. Getting it listed is a big lever, right? And so those are usually two of the areas where people kind of struggle. They're like, okay, how long should this take me to get, I was talking to someone else this morning, how long should this take me to get a property, once I get the contract, how long should it take me before that property gets listed for sale? And I'm like, it can take us a month sometimes. We get the due diligence back within 2 days, but we're waiting on the A&M to be filed and confirmed at the county courthouse, and we're waiting on title. Title seems to be the big wait. That's why we try to figure out who's going to be our title company in an area before we send the mail, because we want to make sure we have someone who's already vetted, who's already seen our contract, they know exactly what we're doing, and they're willing to work with us. You need a permanent address. A P.O. box for an address is okay, but I don't love it. I don't love it because we're trying to build trust, and a lot of times these are older people. Any barrier, like a P.O. box, kind of feels anonymous to me. That's just my opinion though. So if that's already where you've gone down, then I wouldn't like change everything. But if you're just starting out, I might think about that as an option. I personally would use anything. You can use a virtual mailbox that gives you a physical address, or you can use a UPS store because they give you a physical address, or any type of a mailbox service. It could be, I think there's mail, it's commercially zoned. So like if they look at you on Google Maps, you look like you're in a shopping center. That goes a long way. People like that. This is like a letter. Oh, I have an end buyer, but this particular seller, turns out she doesn't own 100% of this property. And she inherited the property with her brother. Her brother has deceased. He has died, and she's elderly. Her brother had 2 children, and she doesn't know where they are, but they would be the rightful heirs of his half of the property. So she wants to sell it. We agreed on a price. We've been working on this title. Before we actually put it on the market, we got a buyer. Okay, so the purchase price on this property, this is 35 acres, 23,000, I think is what happened. And then she came back and asked for more, so we agreed on 30,000 as the price we're buying it for, and we got it under contract. Oh, I see. We got under contract for 88,000. So here's the thing. So we have about a $50,000 spread, okay, on the deal, but we can't close it because the lady that we're buying it from doesn't have the legal right to sell it to me. Okay, so she's going to have a partition lawsuit made. So normally if it's a quiet title lawsuit, it would be that there's a dispute. That would mean there's a dispute. So let's just say seller and brother inherited the property, but they're disputing over who's the real owner. Okay, a partition sale is when we're not disputing that we each own half of it, but we can't find some of the heirs. We don't know where they are. So that's a partition sale, lawsuit. So she's going through the process now with an attorney that I found for her in the area where the property is located, and they're filing the suit. It's going to take about 60 days. But I checked with my end buyer, and he said he's perfectly happy and willing to wait. So I have an extension agreement with the seller, and I also now have an extension agreement with the buyer. So that's what I'm working on right now. So I've gotten mailers automated with Rocket Mail, and marketing is good. What are my next steps? Okay, make sure that you're ready to start receiving calls, texts, and emails. Okay, so just make sure all your online stuff is tuned up, your website's good. Wherever you're having people respond to you, just make sure your voicemail's set up. Test everything. That's what I would say. And get ready to start taking calls. Now, as soon as you negotiate a contract with someone, you're going to want to first send it to title, and second, file the A&M with the county where the property's located. So just make sure that you're ready to do that as soon as you get a signed contract. Okay, so it's good to kind of know like where you're mailing beforehand, like who you're going to go to. Mike, in regards to lagging response time from sellers, would you say most of the accepted offers come in after the offer expiration date? Yes, I would. I think I would answer that yes. Let me see if this helps. It's good to hang out with you. Yeah. Let's see. A lot of them come in after the expiration date, yes. Because people file it away and they're like, not today, but I think there will be a day. So let me hang on to this. And that's why you hear from them later. I only put a 3-week window on them receiving my accepted offer. So I'll mail it out and I'll say, you've got 21 days to respond, or this is null and void, because I put an offer price on there, right? And so people often will call and say, oh, the deadline's today, but I just got it. Sometimes that happens. So, obviously we're going to give them grace. And we're going to be like, oh, well, I'll give you a little more time. You want to sell? Oh, okay. So yeah, I just wanted to hang out in here and see if I could be helpful and tell you what I had going on today. So hope you have a great weekend, and here is to your flippin' success.